Good evening and happy Monday to everybody. Hope we all having a good weekend thus ending of the week thus far. We are back with another episode of the Baseball Card Junkies podcast, and I'm here with, as Sean likes to call, the Misfits. I've got Mike to my left. I got Arnie right below us. How was the weekend, gentlemen?
Every weekend I worked.
Yeah, well,
busy.
last week you gave us a little glimpse as to why you didn't show up last Monday. Apparently, your idea of a DIY indoor pool went sour.
Yeah, it didn't exactly happen. Next time, I think I'll put the pool on the roof instead of the basement.
There you go. Works
and use
for
some
me.
Clean water instead of groundwater coming through. So
yeah, exactly.
Not fun. But
all right. Well, how was the first week of baseball?
I'm loving it so far. I'm loving it.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Some surprises.
I'm loving
out there.
it, and there's a lot of people that's hating on me for loving it. But you know what? That's for a segment later on.
That's later.
Oh boy.
All right. So first thing we're gonna go ahead and go over is we're gonna talk new releases. And the first release that I'm gonna show when I did this initially, 2024 Panini Select. Okay, we all know that everybody loves them, some non-licensed product. Looks good, designs, I'm not gonna lie about it. Okay, we got zebras, we got cantaloupes, we got orangutan versions. All right, so I mean, pretty nice. Not gonna complain. If I'm not mistaken, I think this product was around the $200 mark, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right there.
Yep. So you get 5 cards per pack. You get 12 packs per box. It's a 300 card checklist, and yeah. So
2 autographs and a mem card.
Yeah.
All right. So next product that actually came out that is actually on the Beckett page, National Treasures. Okay. Half the price is probably just for the box itself.
Yeah, very expensive, but nice.
It is nice. I mean,
but expensive.
Look at this Jackson Merrill Juicy Patch. Okay. Don't know if it's game used, game worn, game bought. Who knows?
It's a pretty big patch, almost enough to blow your nose in it.
There you go. Maybe wipe your ass. All right. Then you got Bobby. Notable nicknames. We got Judge here. All Rise. Then with this, you've got 10 cards per pack, 1 pack per hobby, 4 boxes per case. Set size, the answer is yes. What to expect? Either 8 autos or relics or a combination.
What to expect? Nice product, nice looking cards, just not the best company.
Yeah, this is true.
Love the product though. Love the designs.
Absolutely. All right, so I pulled this this morning. So Topps posted on their Twitter account 2 additional products that's actually going to release. First one is 2025 Topps Heritage. Okay, and this is set to actually be released. Let me go back down here to my handy dandy Hooyah. Tomorrow. This is the pre-order though. You got 8 cards per pack, 24 packs per box, 1 auto or relic. Hobby box price to be determined. Okay.
I think in the one chat, someone was mentioning that they're going to re-release Heritage High Number on April 1st. I have a feeling this is what they were talking about.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for both, just in case.
Okay. So as of right now, what we're looking at for this is a 500 card base set with the 76 design. It has 6 record breakers, fathers and sons, all-time all-stars, every nook and cranny you could think of. Okay, and don't even tell you what to expect in the box. I'm expecting some cards at the very least.
You would think so.
So that's coming out the pre-order tomorrow. The next thing that's actually releasing, 2025 Topps Chrome Black. And we just did a little window shopping on eBay because the prices on eBay is just ridiculous. Even on a pre-order, they're averaging between think the low end was about 240. High end is about 325. Okay. Got some of the new designs here, which I'm a fan of. I like them. Okay. 7 cards per pack, 2 packs per box, plus 1 in a one touch. So they did up it by quite a few. I can't math right now.
It was a 4-card pack, and then now they're going to give us 2 7-card packs, I believe.
There you go, for a total of 15.
Yeah.
Okay, so
which makes that a little bit more appealing for, like, say, a break product, because after the auto, there's not many cards to spread around. So getting 14 cards with some chances and some other stuff will be kind of nice.
Yep,
no doubt.
I was just about to pull them there, Josh. So the inserts, they got and this debuted last year. You got the Depths of Darkness. Then you have the Hit the Light, which happens to be this one here that Bobby is sitting in. Then you got the Nocturnal, which is what Judges are having. I do like how they got the little aura going around them. And then the Rookie design variations. And those are the only inserts as of now. So there's a possibility more to follow. Okay. But yeah, I think on the pre-order, I'm going to say conservatively about $260.
About that.
Okay. So if you're into this kind of stuff, I mean, is it break worthy? Yeah, sure. Why not? But
yeah,
I
it'd be
mean,
nice to get a box.
Yeah. But are we going to see people investing in cases upon cases and doing live streams, ripping it for themselves? Probably not. Okay, so purchase with caution. All right, so those are all the releases that's actually coming out. Now, as far as reviews, the latest thing that actually came out is 24 high number draft 1. Any thoughts on it?
Go ahead, Mike.
No, you go ahead, Arnie. I'm trying to figure this one out.
Can I get the question one more time, please?
What are our thoughts on this release of high number that just happened?
The queue?
The reality is it was an absolute shit show.
Okay.
Does the product warrant the 200 plus price point that it's at right now? No, it does not. I've been in multiple. When I say multiple, I'm saying 5 to 7 range full case breaks, and I've yet to see quads, duels, big time redemptions, just regular old heritage, nothing fancy, just the normal stuff that you would expect, which is fine. The chromes are beautiful. I will say that. I do love the gloss on the back of the chromes, where previous years we would see a glossy chrome front, and then the back was just the paper design. So you still had a lot of that chipping. With the gloss on the back of those chrome cards, now you eliminate that chipping. So if you do get a real nice chrome card, as long as it's centered, you have a really nice chance of getting a good grade on it. So I do like that they changed that a little bit. I do like the extra inserts. I'm not a fan of having the whole entire heritage run from the first release put into heritage high number. To me, that just means print a ton more of it. But then now it's sold out so fast. So something's going on. I have a feeling what it is. I'm not for sure, but I just have a feeling it's just what I said before is going to come out in the next week or so. It'll happen.
And this is what we're looking at for a price point on blasters.
Yeah, well, these are the 2 companies. These are 2 of the 3 companies that help Topps inflate the price. So
well, it looks like Topps is inflating within reason.
No, well, here's what I'm saying. Let's pretend those 3 prices and those 3 boxes right there were hobby. Okay. So Topps releases it at $99. I don't care about, Nala Bear. God bless Nala Bear. He got 10 boxes. Everybody else got squat. Okay. So the majority of the people got nothing at $99. It was not available at $99 because nobody got it. Okay. And Beast, I think that's a complete lie, because how do you add all of those inserts and all of those parallels and you only print 5,000 cases? The math ain't mathin'. When you add more parallels and you add more of that, you add more base cards, you add more production. That's the whole reason they add more color to it, so you can print more. That's what they do when they add one single Bowman card. whether it's a new color. It just increases the print run. So getting back to what I think Topps is doing is they're offering it to the LCS at, let's say, $70 a box.
Okay.
LCS sells it at 100. Topps offers it to us for 100. The queue to get into the cards, to buy the cards, was about a whole 30 seconds. Okay. And it was done.
Yeah.
Now, 3 days later, here comes Topps calling all the LCSs. Would you like to buy this at 160, 170, 180 bucks a box? And that's exactly what's happening. You're having Topps leverage with David Adams, Blowout, and all those guys that inflated the prices to almost $229 a box. So when they're selling it at $229, and then the LCSs say, well, you're offering it to me on the second round at 160, 170, and I could sell it for 200. I can still make money. I'll buy some more. You're telling me that they sold out of that stuff in under a minute for Heritage High number? You got better odds of getting Sapphire.
Yeah. That's insane.
No, I mean, how dumb do these people think we are? They got to be sitting on this stuff. And my thoughts are this: they're going to go down holding the product, and they're going to funnel all of that back stuff, that back stock, in through Blowout, and let them be the guys that lower the price, because Topps can't put that back on the market for the same price. They'll just have egg on their face.
Well,
so
John Beast just said that Blowout has blasters $2 cheaper than its competitors, and also,
well, Target has them for 25.
Yeah, Target had them at 25. I got a notification on that, but you can only order 3 by
But that's normal.
Yeah, I got my 3, and then went back the next day. Boom, gone. So, my thing about that is when I saw it come up, I was on Fanatics. I had Friday off. I just went on there and I was like, okay, so they're doing a drop on it. So I put myself in and I was like, all right, if I can get them for $99, a box, and they're going for $229, I can do a break. I'll do a break with 4 boxes. So I put in for my 4, and then if you don't get a notification, you didn't get it. Well, guess what? I didn't get a notification either. I don't think hardly anybody got it.
Mike, here's the thing with that. Here's the issue that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if you collect cards or not, let's just say, I don't know, pick an item at a Target, pick a kid's toy. Okay. Something for
Lego.
A kid's toy that's Legos. There's a Lego set that goes for $100,
mm-hmm.
and now they're $229, and other distributors are selling them for $229 before they actually hit the shelves at Target. But you can go to Target and pick some up. This brings in everybody that's not a card collector saying, I could take $100 bill and turn it into a $229 bill. That's simple math. Everybody's going to want it. So everyone's going to go to Top Site because Blowout and all these companies are increasing these prices drastically, and they're selling it 3 and 4 weeks prior on pre-sale.
Yeah. Well, how many cases or boxes do you think they actually had for that drop?
Well, according to Beast, he said there's about 5,000 cases.
Well, if there was 5,000 cases,
there's no way it sold out in a minute. Everything was gone in a minute. Cases were gone in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I refilled once before 12:01, and it wasn't even 12:01, and the cases were sold out.
Maybe the first wave was 5,000.
No, somebody's going to do the is the sheet out with the checklist, or I'm sorry, not the checklist, but the print runs on Top Site?
It should be.
If the odds are out, someone will do some math on it, and you'll have to factor in. Because here's what you have to remember: we're going from a product that had just a couple Chrome cards, and the golds were to 50, right? So they made the golds a little bit more rare. They made those down to 5. All right, those are out of 5 now, but they added all these other cards in the entire run to $6.99, the whole entire set. So
let me throw this out there then. Would we agree that so for example, you've got Heritage with the rookie class of Ohtani, Soto, Acuna. Okay, that was pretty pricey. Would you say this class for 24 warrants its price?
No. Not a snowball's chance in hell. There's no Ellie in this, and Ellie's not doing anything crazy.
Ellie is in it. He just don't have a rookie.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. I guess from a rookie standpoint, he's in the first release of Heritage. For Heritage High Number, you don't have Jason Dominguez, you don't have Ellie, you have Jackson Merrill, Churio, and Skeens. Those are the big three.
Yes.
Okay, and there's some other players, right? There's some other players, but those are the big three.
Because 22 wasn't even that expensive when they had Bobby and J-Rod and all those guys.
No, you were getting those boxes last year for
you can still buy those boxes for $85 right now.
Yeah.
And that's what this product's always been. Okay, here's another question for the chat. Forget the price point. Has anybody seen any good boxes? I haven't. I've watched cases and I have yet to see anything good.
Well, let's make it a little more realistic. Has anybody
just did a case last night?
Huge get pulled out of it.
Artie just did a full case last night. Artie's in the chat. Is he in the chat here? We can comment on Artie's full case. He got it at $113. God bless him for getting in early. He got it for $113 at another spot. But that's another example of a full case. And where's the monster hits? Mm-hmm. This has always been an $80 box product. It's been $60 to $79.99 for many, many years. And we understand, hey, it's going to go up a little bit. Inflation, times have changed. 18 is a different year than 2024, 2025. Sure, fine, $100. Let's do it.
Okay.
People, this is strictly a Dave and Adams play. Dave and Adams puts the product out for a certain price, sells out, plays the whole yo-yo game. Let's put it on the market. Let's sell it out. Let's put it back on the market for more, sell it a little bit more, create the hype, create the buzz. And then Topps sees what's going on and says, wait a minute, we're letting you do this. We want action on that. We're not going to sell all our boxes at 100 when you're getting 229. Are you kidding me? Let's just sell this thing out real quick. And then we're going to redistribute to the LCSs for 160, 170 a box. Topps isn't going to leave 5,000 cases on the table at an extra $80 a box. No company's going to do that, and Topps saw that. So shame on Topps, shame on all these guys. Shame, shame, and shame. And that's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah, so Casey said that he had actually 10 autos in that case. Well, that's a great case for Heritage. If it wasn't,
but what are the autos? I've seen 8 and 10 in all the cases I got into with other breakers. 8 and 10 autos, and I have yet to see anything good. The best was a Jung Hoo Lee redemption. Ask Artie what he got. He had how many autos last night? Can someone put in the chat, please, that watched Artie's break? There's like 20 people in here. Could someone put in how many autos he got and what was his best auto? That's a $1,200 case he spent money on. And I don't know what the big hit was.
Right.
I'm not knocking what he did. It's just, where is the
well, what the thing is,
what's justifying this price point?
Here's the thing though, what you would classify as a big hit may be different in another person's perspective though too.
Well, I look at that product as you're not going to get a big hit. That's a product for me that grinds and puts sets together and puts inserts together, and I sell a lot of singles. I would love to get that product for $100 a case. I already had 9 to 10 autos and 2 relics. Okay, so that's great. What was the big hit that he had? There isn't one, is what I'm getting at. And I love Artie to death, man. He's great. But he's no different than me buying that case. Okay, so that's $100 box. Okay. All right, so you got a $10 to $12 auto at best. So again, and it's not just him. I'm talking big name breakers that I've bought into that I participated in and watched several cases. Like I said, the average has been 8 autos. The highest I've seen is 10.
Okay.
And nothing justifies that price point, I guess is what I'm saying.
So as of right now, based off your experiences of what you've seen, you have yet to see anything huge get pulled.
No.
From your under your definition.
I think under anybody's definition, at $100 a box, it's feasible because you can sell the sets and it's a popular product right now. You can make some money back.
Okay.
At anything over $119 a box, which I think 119 is still too high. The color swap Churio case he pulled last night is the best hit I've seen. And we're talking about people breaking tons of this stuff. No one's getting anything.
I saw Stryker opening up the blaster boxes. I think it was on his second video. He opened up 10 and he pulled a Skeens, and instead of it saying Pirates, it said Pittsburgh across the top. So it was
the city.
Yeah.
Okay, so he got a variation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Casey did, I think, 7 blasters in his break last night. In the retail green, I had the Pirates. I got the Paul Skeens green card. So it's probably like a $45 card. And I think Casey pulled the white one. He sold it on eBay last night for like $62. So that's pretty good. I mean, the resale stuff with Skeens is always going to be high.
Right.
But I guess what I'm saying is, Enfuego, is at this price point, $119 on the resale market.
Yeah.
You buy it for $100, you make $20 a box on the secondary if you're flipping it. But I don't think it's worth anything more than that based on what we've all seen at $200 a box, or even if we got it at $99 a box. It's just not worth anything more than that.
So again, we can agree this checklist does not compete with the Ohtani class.
No, it's not close. And could that change? A lot has to happen. I mean, we're talking about 2 special players in Ohtani and Soto, and even in Acuna.
Okay, so KC saw a red ink Kershaw and a relic of some old guy to 25.
Okay. There's a lot of people in here, and we watch a lot of cards.
Yeah.
There's 2 cards that have been spoken about right now, and one of them's worth a couple $100.
Okay.
I mean, everything we keep talking about and looking for somebody to say, I saw this or I saw that, or hey, they had a great case. It was amazing. It was full. It was loaded. You should have seen it. I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah. I mean, we all have our own perspective. Me personally, $200 does not justify this.
No. Because I guess what you're saying, Enfuego, is when you get to that 200 point, we were talking backstage that Mike was like, hey, for $40 more, I'll get a guaranteed auto and a Topps Chrome 2025 Chrome Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you have to do is, as a consumer, is say, enough is enough. We're not buying it. I'm not buying it if it drops to 179.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I agree. Well,
but damn, I missed opening it because I love me some Heritage.
So since we're putting dollar figures to players, okay. According to who is it? Topps. These were the most expensive opening cards for opening day by highest card sale. Okay, and this is what their projected lineup would be is, and then we'll get into a little more detail. So Skeens 1.1 million, obviously. We got Trout 3.8 mil, Dominguez 474K, Judge at 324, Vladdy at 552. I don't know how. Mookie Betts at 123, Ellie 360, Nolan Arenado 35,000, Adley at 19, and then Shohei 533. Now, how many games does this squad win in a season?
Well, is Skeens pitching every game?
Yeah, he's going to be tired.
I mean, it's a net. You know what? This will make a great MLB The Show lineup.
Yeah.
It would make a great all-star team.
Yeah.
One game.
But I'll tell you what. The league is loaded with a bunch of great players. Yeah. I could grab 9 others and put them up against that same lineup and be comfortable with it. So, but it is pretty impressive to see some of these sales. Don't be fooled by the Mookie Betts being real low because he doesn't have a lot of stuff out there, and those cards do not transfer very often.
Right.
Those cards, when they do come up, it's probably been a while. If a Mookie came up today, I guarantee it's going to surpass some of these newer guys.
Okay. So real quick, before we get into any further detail, I just want to go ahead and do this one more time for the people in the back who don't know this person first off. Okay. But this kid, he pulled some shenanigans recently. All right. Remember him?
Oh, yeah, Timmy.
Poor Timmy.
We all know little Timmy, right?
This kid's been in therapy, and last time we talked about him, he hasn't left therapy.
Now,
you got my kindergarten picture there.
Timmy pulled some bullshit this recently.
Oh, what did Timmy do?
So, what are your thoughts about this buyer's reason for returning a card they recently purchased?
Okay.
So, this is his justification. I could not move this at any of my card shows this weekend and last. Non-liquid. I apologize for the inconvenience.
Well, sorry about your luck, buddy.
So, if Timmy bought a refractor of Ellie De La Cruz from you, Arnie, All right, you sent it to him. He's got it, no issues. Gave you grade A feedback. He tries to flip it at his local card shop or at a card store, whatever the case may be. Couldn't flip it. He couldn't give it away. He reaches out to you saying he wants to send it back and get a refund. How are you going to handle that as a seller?
Knowing what I know about eBay's policy, I wouldn't interject and I just wouldn't reply to him because I know that I don't have to in this case. So this makes for a good story. It makes for fun conversation like we're doing right now. It just sheds light on all the idiots that are out there, and nothing surprises you. But I wouldn't do anything in this case simply because I know that it already went through eBay authentication because it was over 300, and there's nothing that they could do.
But look, the buyer's request to return this item was approved based on eBay's returning policy.
Right, but
so they're saying yes, they're siding with the buyer.
Oh, does he accept returns? Because I don't accept returns on anything.
And what is your rating on eBay, just so I know?
100.00.
There you go.
Allegedly,
yes. All right.
I can't believe that eBay would approve that because there was actually the transaction went through. There was nothing wrong with the card. It wasn't damaged. It wasn't misleading, anything like that. He just couldn't sell it, so now he wants to return it.
Yes.
Here's what's going to happen. Someone's going to get really mad and drive to one of these guys' houses. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I watch a lot of TV in my years. I have a feeling this will be a Dateline episode one day.
It would be
because they're going to piss off the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
Leave people alone.
But look, I like his reason. Changed my mind.
Here's what eBay doesn't understand. eBay doesn't understand that people like me.
No. Don't tell eBay. Tell him. Go ahead. Tell him.
I can't look this kid in the eye anymore. I do this every week. I lose sleep. I finally get to sleep around Thursday where I get a good night's sleep. And then here I comes Monday again. And then poor Timmy. This kid's got so many issues. He's not even 10 yet. Oh, my God.
So, I mean, I kind of, I'm on board with the fact that if there was no issues with the listing, everything was accurate, the transaction was flawless, and you could not fulfill your intent after purchase, my hands are clean. I did my part.
Here's the problem. I guess what the problem with all of these customer service companies, not companies, but any company that has a customer service department is all of these websites, no matter whether you're looking on Chipotle or anything else, it's the hardest thing to do on anybody's website is to find a phone number. Okay.
Right.
You just try to Google it.
True.
These sites are designed so you cannot reach anybody. The problem is when you do have an issue like this, where's the rebuttal? Who do you call? Like, who do you talk to? If you're this seller, I believe this was the Boba Fett card. Is that correct? It was a Boba Fett.
It didn't give those details.
Okay. Well, whatever the card was, because it really doesn't matter. The problem is you have a seller who's probably a legit seller,
right?
Probably a good guy, girl, whatever. He's just a stand-up person, right? Not doing anything against the grain, just going by the book.
Right.
It seems that those are the people that always get the short end of the stick lately. And it's time that somebody knocks on one of these people's doors. I'm not saying to go do that. I'm not saying to incite violence, but you keep screwing with people, something's going to happen one day, and then that's going to be a story. And that's not what the hobby needs. The hobby needs some companies like eBay to take a stance and side with the sellers, because they usually side with the sellers. And then they side with the buyers on these parts. It's like one day it's the seller they side with, one day it's the buyer they side with. I don't know. I'm slowly selling less on eBay.
Really.
Yeah. Are you selling less on eBay? I'm selling less on eBay. I'm slowly taking stuff off that's not moving, and I'll just sell it elsewhere. I'll sell it on YouTube. I'll sell it at a card show. I'm going to do my first one.
Throw it up on ComC.
Throw it up on ComC. There's so many other opportunities to sell your cards.
Right.
Or give them to people that do shows or live sales and send them their cards and give them a cut of the money.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so if Beast is saying if he buys a box from Topps and doesn't get a card that he can sell, he could return the open packs for a refund.
As long as you buy it through eBay.
Buy it through eBay. You can do whatever you want now.
That's it.
It's ridiculous.
Right. And that's another thing. This opens up the recipe for all the scumbags. When they see this, that it works.
Here's the thing with eBay. If eBay didn't have sellers, eBay would not exist. So why do they take the buyer's standpoint all the time?
But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes they take the buyers, and then sometimes they side with the sellers. It's like when you get screwed and you did the right thing, they're going to side with the other side, whether you're the buyer or the seller. It's always going to be the opposite. And it just seems like everything is just messed up lately.
It is. Yeah.
They're siding with all the scumbags.
Yeah. All right. So enough with Timmy. Timmy, he done got his thrashing for the day for now. All right, so I came across this on X, and I wanted to get everybody else's standpoint because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who thought about this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so when it comes to modern cards, why was it that Mike Trout's base rookie was so much more expensive than any other base rookie card? What sets his card apart from all the other big names that came out from 2011 to present day that has somewhat become the iconic card of this generation?
Print run. Extremely lower print run in this in 11. Keep in mind 11 series 1, series 2, and then update. Extremely low print run. There is a lot out there, but there's a lot less of this card by comparison year after year. So we're talking 15 years removed.
Right.
Production has increased by in the millions over the course of that 15 years. And this is the update
I wonder
version.
what the print run was back then, because I did print runs back to like 2016, and print runs were only like 30,000 cards.
Yeah.
And now they're up to 2 million. You know.
Keep in mind he was the guy for 10 straight years.
Yeah.
I mean,
so back then it might have only been, the print run was maybe 200,000, 250 at the most.
Yeah, give or take.
Where you're at 1.3 million right now per card
or more.
From a series 1, series 2, or more, depending on the release.
Let's take Trout's rookie card and Ohtani's pitching. Mm-hmm. How much of a difference in print run?
I don't know. It's a good question. I would say probably a few 100,000 at least.
Because
right now, at least. I'm being conservative.
I do know there is, I could be wrong, there is no Topps Update Chrome Trout rookie card.
Correct.
Okay, so that's 1 point against Ohtani. He's got base paper and he's got chrome. Yeah.
Well, here's another thing that if you scroll up a little bit so I can read the rest of that at the top, what the comment was. This is Vintage Card Guy. Okay, so when it comes to modern baseball cards, why is Mike Trout's base rookie so much more expensive than others? Can we see some of the comments maybe just to see if people mention the main comment being print run? I would think that's.
It's a base rookie. What's the question? What other current base cards are going for that?
Well, none are going for that.
6,600. The math isn't mathing.
Wait, PSA.
When one could buy a Chrome Ohtani base rookie 10 for $200 with
he's comparing paper to Chrome. Yeah, he's comparing paper to Chrome. So that doesn't do anything for us.
Okay, yup. Most is saying print run, but the pop report remains high on PSA 10s.
Well, by comparison, I mean, think about it. The most graded card in the industry is a Griffey Jr. rookie, but it has a gem rate of only like 5.2%, 5.3 maybe.
Foxy Sports Cards and Collectibles has wrote, 2011, the market wasn't as saturated with 50 different products that you could pull Trout rookies out of like today. So the update rookie is by far the best Trout rookie and iconic because of that. Yeah, there weren't many variations.
What they're also forgetting is that he wasn't just the player. He dominated everything for 10 straight years. Yeah, I know where he's at right now, and he's a little far removed from the old Trout, but you have to factor that in. He had no competition. Nobody could come close to Trout.
No.
Okay, so all you have to do is compare Trout and Ohtani. The top rookie card PSA 10 for both of them are vastly different. The Trout update is his top, I believe, and Ohtani is definitely not flagship. Probably the Bowman First Japanese auto.
Yeah, so I think he's getting off into a little bit of a tangent because then you can bring up stuff like, well, what about the Bowman rookie chrome and the refractor for Trout and all those other ones? You have so many different options to compare that to. So Vintage Car Guy says, I can't keep up. I only buy flagship series 1, 2, and update. Well, it sounds like you're keeping up just fine. If that's all you buy, then you should be right in with all of this. I don't see why he's not making much sense there.
But this is a good question, though. I mean, right now, the only leg that Trout has to stand on, and it's a legit one, is the print run itself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would be the main thing, because keep in mind, I was always a proponent of the argument with, well, look at Acuna, 20,000 cards in a PSA 10. You're telling me there's not 20,000 baseball card fans that want the PSA 10 of one of the better players in the game today? And yeah, it's only like a $50 or $75 card right now, whatever it is. And it was $150 at one point, or whatever the price may be. I always said, I don't care about it being 20,000. I just want the flagship rookie in a 10. I just want the best player right now. Nothing wrong with that. So I never understood the pop count, supply and demand. Right? If there's a demand for the supply, isn't that all you need?
You would think. So, but so far, I mean, all points very valid. I think the consensus is the print run is what favors that Trout rookie over everybody else. So, but on a different note now, when it comes to grading, okay, how do we feel about sending off base cards to get graded?
I'm fine with send whatever you want. It's your money.
Yeah, I mean, if you like that card and you want to, get it in a slab, go for it.
Hey, so Andrew. Hey, Andrew Breschard, kick rocks. Okay, bite it. No one cares what you think. Let people spend their money how they want. This hobby. I don't understand why this hobby is filled with people running around making such a big deal of how other people spend their money.
Well, here's his reason, though. There are cards with actual value piling up, and these kinds of shenanigans are what's forcing SGC to extend their service times.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Their cards are just as important as anyone else's. What does it matter? I had to wait 30 days for 2 cards at SGC. And one was a 39 play ball Joe DiMaggio. I had to wait 30 days for 2 cards from the fastest grading company in the business, right? I finally got my cards, but the point is that who the hell cares?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Okay, you got my cards. I'll just wait for them. What am I going to do? Hey, send them back. Don't grade them, and just hold a grudge. I never understood why people are so stuck on. Here's another thing. When a person posts something like that, I would say, Mike, what cards are you posting? What cards are you trying to get graded?
Yeah.
Come on, big shot. Show us your big collection, your big time money collection. That's what I would reply to that guy. But what are you going to do? Argue with somebody over something that he has no control over? Who cares what you grade? They're your cards.
This is true, and you're spending the money for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know what's good about that? Guys like Mike can get a nice graded card for $6.
Hey, that's what I look for.
There you go, Dom.
Yeah,
I think everybody can support you on that one.
Yeah, I don't think you need anybody telling you anything.
Yeah.
Who are you to tell me what to do with my money? I'm smoking crack tonight. That's what I'm doing with my money. How's that? Cocaine and hookers. Leave me alone. Cocaine, hookers, and base cards.
It bugs me.
We would kind of care about that, Arnie, if you were smoking crack.
Thank you.
We'd have to step in.
All right. What do you think, Enfuego? Does that bother you?
You know what? As long as I'm the one that's forking the money for it, the way I see it, I could give a rat's ass on what you think I should or should not send off the grade.
None of your damn business.
Okay. Yeah, well, how about enjoy the fact that someone loves those base cards, and then your dumbass can sell those things to somebody because people like that guy want to grade base cards.
Yeah. So I don't know. He must have picked up a damn.
There's a lot of those guys.
He picked up a book off of from Jeff Wilson off of damn Etsy, probably. How to Be a Flipper 101.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing that people can enjoy the hobby in different ways.
Okay, yep. Mike makes pretty much good sense. Cocaine and hookers are always fashionable.
Good
He
point.
was 10 years younger. Okay. But eBay is doing some new stuff now, which actually rolled out effective today. So they're
Yeah.
offering direct grading option for raw cards that you purchase on eBay. But obviously there is a caveat. Okay. So basically, individual raw cards that don't carry autographs and are priced at $250 or greater on eBay can be purchased and submitted for authentication and grading in one transaction as part of a new partnership. Now, the caveat to this is you don't have the option of what grading service you can send it in for. They choose that for you, and they're going to be going with the PSA Value Plus, which is at $40. All right, and if I'm not mistaken, I think with this service, turnaround is like what, 20 days? 3
Yeah,
weeks?
I think the business days are almost the same, but it's you don't have to have the 20 card minimum for bulk. So that's what separates the individual. Plus, the other caveat is you do not have to have a PSA membership.
There you go.
So if you just want to grade that one card, or you got a pack of cards for your birthday or whatever, and you pulled a good card, or you just want to dabble and test it out, this is a good way of doing it with someone that's probably pretty well trusted, being eBay. On that front, getting your cards back and how long this is going to take. Is it going to be expedited because you're part of this exclusive eBay partnership? I don't know, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see a few people do it and work some kinks out before I think it's anything that I would try. But I think everybody here knows somebody that grades. So if you don't grade, reach out to somebody that you know that collects. Maybe you can just use their account to grade something and send it in.
There you go.
And as of right over me now.
Yep, I heard.
Is that what that noise was?
Oh yeah, it's right on top of me.
So as of right now, this option is only available to America only. Still love you, Canada. All right, but now eBay says that the new offering eliminates multiple shipping legs, saves time by cutting out multiple steps, reduces cost, supports a faster time to market, which is key in the fast-paced trading. Okay, yeah. All that fluff, unnecessary. I don't think it cuts any steps out. I think it adds to it. Because if I'm not mistaken, a card that is at $250, doesn't that have to be sent off to Florida for authentication anyway?
Are you saying auto only?
No. Whether auto or base, because I know there's been some non-auto cards that I've bought at about $250, $275, and they had to get shipped off to get authenticated, and I get it come back in a pretty blue eBay box.
Yeah, I thought the value was $300. I could be wrong. Maybe it's changed, but I thought it was $300
for me.
Okay, so maybe it's changed. I thought it was.
So now with eBay adding this PSA incentive, does that eliminate the pit stop at Florida for authentication? You know, I mean, does it really cut out that middleman, or does it just replace the middleman with somebody else? But what else? So after the card is purchased, right? Rate start, yep, $40, got that. The card is then shipped to PSA under the company's already existing authenticity guarantee program with no shipping cost. Buyers don't have to be PSA members to submit cards they buy on eBay. Got it.
There we go.
If it passes, the card is then graded by PSA and shipped to the buyer.
Nice.
eBay
so that's
is
probably
offering
shop right there at that first stop is probably where it determines if it's authenticated, and then it goes right there. So I don't think there's a second stop in between to answer that other question that you had.
Right. So it's probably just a replacement.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And now eBay is offering a free return shipping of the return of the newly graded cards until June 30th. So they're going to tack on a price.
Okay.
Now, if the card is rejected by the authenticator, basically the card is sent back to the seller and the buyer's purchase price is refunded. The cost of grading is non-refundable. So you're losing money if the card is not authenticated.
Casey asked another good question here, because saves on taxes as well. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if you save on taxes, because if that's the case, and that's a workaround to not pay taxes, that's the biggest rub with me when I buy a card on eBay. Buying a $500 card or $300 card or a bunch of $10 cards, those taxes add up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm not 100% sold on this new program that eBay's rolling out.
See, I'm okay with it for people that just want to grade one card.
Okay.
Because if you grade one card, you can go on their site and do it yourself. But if you're here's the problem that I don't like. I guess I'm with you on the fact that I don't like it because I don't get to see the card at first to determine if it's grade worthy. How do you know these cards? These people, here's how these people take pictures of cards. They take a top loader, they throw it down on the table, they take a photo of it, and it looks like it's in a shoebox with bad lighting. And you don't even know if that card's grade worthy. If it's like, hey, I bought this because I think it's going to be a nice condition card. I had a little conversation with the seller. It sounds like he's giving me good feedback, whatever. Or maybe he sent you extra photos and it looks good. Mm-hmm. But then you get the card back and it comes back an 8. And then what?
And I mean,
that's why I don't like it.
If you go down further, so we understand if the card is a no-go, the card sent back to the seller, the $250 that you spent on the card, you get that back. But the $40 that you invested for grading, you just lost that. That's one. Now, any card that goes through the grading process is considered a final sale and not eligible for a return. So, I mean, chat, what are we thinking about this incentive? I'm not sold on it, honestly, because now, one, I'm curious to know what the cost is going to be for shipping, for return shipping on June 31st. July 1st. That's one. Number two is you're going to give, I've invested $290 in a full process of my purchase, but you're going to give me what I spent on the card, but I'm being charged for a card that's not getting graded.
Yeah,
Yep. I mean, it doesn't. This math is not mathing for me at all.
What is the benefit here? What are they trying to achieve? I get it, ramp up business and make everything streamlined, but I still like to see my cards. I don't know how you guys all feel, but
no, agreed.
If I'm spending that kind of money, I'd like to see what my card looks like before I decide to do something with it.
Agreed. I mean, because the title of the eBay listing could say one thing, but then when you get the card in hand and it's just all out of whack.
What if I buy a card off of Mike and I send it to you to get graded, and then I take it to a show and can't sell it? How much time do I have to screw Mike? Mike, is your house going to blow up? Jesus.
It's a good possibility.
Your lights start flickering.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. So we know you don't grade.
Right.
But if you happen to pick up a nice Bryce Harper or a Bryson Stott or anybody off of Bay, okay, and from what you see on those pictures, it looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. Would you go with this process?
Heck no.
Okay.
No, I want
What's the reason?
I want the card in my possession. I want to take a look at it, and I have other options to get my cards graded.
Yeah.
You know? If somebody else is doing a bulk lot and say, "Hey, I'm doing a bulk lot. Anybody got cards that they want to send me? I'll send them out that way."
Right. This idea seems pretty late.
Yeah.
This should have been.
There's other ways to
15, 20 years ago.
Through a middleman. It's like everything is becoming a middleman now. The middleman's making the money, and we're not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
And we're paying for it, so no.
Yep, good point, Adrian. It's it's a sense of buying and selling and never actually handling them.
Mm-hmm.
But now with Lucky Pete, he's saying this is good for first timers and noobs that just need to slap something. Well, nowadays they're giving a lot of these damn content creators, and I'm talking about PSA. They're giving them promo codes where they knock off $25 off their first PSA order.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I would take that deal over buying a raw card and just having eBay handle the rest of the process for me, and me expected to come back in a slab at an expected grade. I would like to see my stuff in hand first.
Yeah, Nala says something. It's for someone that doesn't want to buy a PSA membership. How much is a PSA membership?
$100 for basic membership. Okay, you
Okay.
get 60. You get $60 free break credit on Fanatics. I think it's 30
Of course,
bucks.
Fanatics is in it somehow, right?
I think 30 bucks for loot, and then if you go with the premium, which is
I think it's
200,
250 or 150 or 200. Yeah.
for the premium for 200 bucks, you have full access to Card Ladder. That's one.
Okay.
And then the break credit for Loop and Fanatics is doubled. So you're getting $120 in break credit with Fanatics, 60 with Loop.
Okay. So there's incentives to do it that way.
So, like me
if I was a grader, yeah. I
like
mean,
for
but
me,
I know
I'm on
so
the
many other
premium.
people.
I'm a PSA premium member because I got the Card Ladder. That's the only reason why I did it.
Okay.
Yeah, we all know somebody. You know, if somebody needed a card grading, we just reach out.
I've been corrected. No more Loop credit.
Oh.
Okay. Thanks,
All
Casey.
right. Good to know.
Yeah, and you got to renew every year, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you're a grader, that's just go straight with PSA. I mean, if you're like somebody else said, if you're a newbie into grading cards or something like that, maybe eBay is and you don't know anybody that has a PSA account. Maybe it's for a one-time shot, you can do it.
If a LCS is near you and they're advertising tops, they more than likely have an account. If you want to go that route too,
or you can take it to GameStop, whatever.
Good luck with that.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I was being sarcastic.
Okay, so that's all our thoughts regarding eBay and all that good stuff. Now, just a reminder.
You're right. I'm not wearing a Rush shirt, so that's why the show's not right.
So, as a reminder, PSA will be dropping their new specials come tomorrow. So, hopefully, they will have something everybody can actually enjoy, baseball related. Just saying. What else we got here? All right, so I personally believe I'm the last person to come up with this little thing that I'm putting up, and I've sent it out to Arnie and Mike, and so far they haven't roasted me about it, so I must have did something right. But basically, what we're gonna be doing is a little crash course on getting cards prepped for PSA or anybody. Okay, I just use PSA because that's most commonly used grading company, unless you want to be a rebel like Arnie. Okay. So this is the steps that I used, and I learned how to actually pay attention to what I'm sending off for grading, because Adrian, to me, she's the Bruce Lee of card grading. She holds I think it's a 2nd or 3rd degree black belt in card grading.
True story.
Okay, so I mean, shout out to Adrian for plugging this into my tutor 4th grade mind. All right, so basically, obviously, we know PSA grades on a 1 to 10 scale. Some key factors that they use for grading is the centering, corners, edges, and the surface. You will find cards, although very rare, with additional qualifiers. And if you're wondering what these qualifiers are, I actually incorporated them into the bottom. Okay. Now, I have not seen any cards graded with a qualifier of OF, which is out of focus. Okay, so that's like a unicorn. I've seen the OC, I've seen marked, I've seen miscut. Don't recall a stain, don't recall out of focus. All right, so here's the comparison between 9s and 10s. what you're looking for a 10, perfect centering at one point was the 60-40. Now we're looking at 55-45. Okay, and then everything else is basically on point, no issues. A 9, slightly centering issue, tiny edge nick, whatever the case may be. Now, in order to increase your chances of getting that PSA 10, let's just say you got a Skeens rookie yellow variation, find one that's graded a 10 and try to do a comparison as best as you can. All right, so basically there's some tools that are out there that'll help you with the grading, because you've got eyes like Arnie, where he'll be in the middle of a break, he'll pull something out his ass. Oh, that centers well. Okay, I don't know if his eyes are crossed or he's looking at the Taco Bell menu or whatever the case may be. But you've got individuals who's done this so long, and it comes second nature, where they can visually look at it with the naked eye and be like, yeah, this is going to grade well. Or obviously it's a little thick on top or a little off left to right, whatever the case may be. Okay. I'm still learning that process. I think there's no way I'm going to excel at eyeballing centering. I'm always going to use something to help me get that centering. Okay. Now, when you're talking about centering, they're actually talking about the evenness, top to bottom, left to right. Okay, so that's just an example. Now, on the back, it's a different grading criteria. On the front, it's 55-45, and if I'm not mistaken, in the back, it's 75-25. Arnie?
Yeah, are you talking about the back of the card?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and again, keep in mind, if you have, let's say there's 10 parameters and all 9 outside of one part of the card checks out, there's still a good chance you can get that higher grade. So,
okay. So Casey licks cards for centering measurements. Yes,
that's true. He did. I haven't tried that yet, but he did reach out to me last week and mention that. I just was going to let him bring that up. But anyway,
okay.
Not a bad idea if you're into that. If it works, good for you. Just be careful what you eat beforehand, because you don't want to have anything on the surface of that card. They'll flag it.
So basically, it is 75-25 on the back.
And again, I've seen cards. When you say 75-25, if you have something that's in the 80-20, whatever it is, keep in mind if the card is strong overall, they will give you most graders. It's up to their discretion. That's one thing about there's no AI grading here. There's still a human element to this, and a human has to make a determination whether this is a 9 or 10. The issues that we have comparing grading companies, we have 9.5 with 2 of the other grading companies in the top 3 that are not PSA. So a lot of that gets blended into what people are expecting. I think that muddies the water when we have SGC doing 9.5s and you look at a card and go, oh, that got a 9.5. Now, why couldn't that have gotten a 10? Whereas PSA, there's a bigger gap because it's just 9 versus a 10. So I don't grade a ton with SGC. I don't grade anything with Beckett. I grade primarily with PSA. And then my number 2 would be SGC.
But for the most part, everybody's on the same sheet of music as far as grading standards.
100%.
Okay, so Smalls, when you're going through your cards, cull them twice. Okay, yeah, I don't know what cull means. I thought I had a messed up education system growing up. Anyway,
it means go through.
Okay. All right. So as far as surfaces, you're going to look for your scratches, your print lines, your roller marks. A lot of times you will find some type of residue on it. Just take a microfiber cloth, wipe it off. Dimples and factory defects can also impact grading. It sucks that before we even touch the card, the moment we open it and we send it off, any imperfections count against us. So, but that's a different story. Now, using LED lighting and magnification for a detailed inspection, in my mind, LED lighting only applies to vintage cards. because if you are trying to send a 1956 Jackie Robinson and you put an LED light to it, the fluorescent purple lights, and it lights up like a Christmas tree, you're trying to send yourself a fake card, and it will not get graded.
Yeah, vintage cards. There's a lot of things you could do. They smell different, they weigh different, they feel different. But number two, that second one, dimples and factory defects. Always look at the back of your cards. And the best thing I can tell you with the light, take the card up against the light and then roll the card slowly, left to right, front to back, and let the light kind of roll across the card and the card surface, because then you're going to see a lot more versus just an overhead light looking at it in one position.
Yeah.
So that's your best bet to do when checking for things like that. Yeah, and especially with these chrome cards, microfiber cloth, little steam from your breath, little puff on there, and then wipe it down, and it's fine.
If your name is Kurt, don't use anything that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Don't get the pressure washer out and start buffing the card down with a
Don't tape the card to the hood of your car and go through a car wash. Don't do it. All right, so corner and edge wear examples. For a 10, everything is razor sharp, clean edges. For a 9, minor whitening or corners or slightly edge fraying. 8 or lower, self-explanatory. Okay, if your corners look like they've been chewed on, it's not going to get a 9. Proper versus improper holders. Now, PSA did come up with some new terms and conditions regarding this. All right, you are required to have a card saver 1 with all cards that you are submitting. If you send something in a top loader, it's likely going to delay the process. 2, you're probably going to receive a charge because you're making them do extra work. Okay. Mm-hmm. Same thing with screw downs and the magnetic cases. Don't do it.
Yeah, no top loaders. No penny sleeves that have the pull tab so they can get them out easy. All that stuff is just a way to push products that people kind of hit the internet with and hit YouTube with. And this is how I do it. And this is how I do that. Do it the same way they've been doing a long time ago. Don't make it any different. Keep it the same. They've had that same system down for 20 plus years. And
you could find a box of card savers on Amazon for like $30.
Yeah, and you get no-name brands. You can get BCW, that's cheaper than Card Saver brand. There's many out there. Humongous Horde, I think, is another one that's pretty cheap. There's a lot of different ones. You're just sending them off. Another thing is, you don't have to do this, but for me, I use new penny sleeves and new card savers every single time I send them out. I don't like to send in a bunch of dirty stuff.
I use for card savers.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the Card Saver brand. But those stuff pick up a ton of lint and dust and fuzz. So I basically use my lint roller across the table. I got my light here right to the right that I use. And that's how I grade cards. That's pretty much it. Have a clean surface to work with. Wash your hands. You don't need to wear gloves. If you want to wear gloves, you can certainly wear gloves if that's your thing. You don't need to. I've been grading for almost 20 years, never used gloves. Just wash your hands.
Well, whatever works for you, Spicy. Just don't send that to
Yes.
All right. So packing card for submission. Insert the card into a penny sleeve first, kind of like what Arnie just tagged on. Place in a Card Saver 1, which is a PSA requirement. Stack in submission order and secure with rubber bands. Now, what that means is when you're filling out your submission form, how the list of cards that you are sending, how it's listed is how your physical cards need to actually be stacked, ready to go, wrapped up in I go a little extra. I sandwich the stack in cardboard. And one little trick that Adrian showed me was I would take a little Sharpie and write front on one side of the cardboard and back on the other, so there's no confusion for PSA.
I usually do a rubber band around the strap of cards, and I put a sticky note on the front. And if it's, I believe it was 20 or 25 back in the day. I think it's 25 because I used to do 50, 100 card orders. That's just how it was. I would stop at 25 and I would only bundle at 25. I believe the old way that PSA used to do many, many years ago, it was for every 25, a bundle of 25 cards on bulk orders. put 1 through 25, and then I would label the next one 26 through 50, 51 to 75, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing it the same way ever since. And I'm not saying you're going to get better grades, but they just like when things are done the way they ask.
Yeah. You know,
Things
help them help you is the way I look at it.
Exactly. Then they're not asking for much. They're just asking to do it a certain way. So everything's uniform when it lands on their desk.
Yep. And apparently you got to buy sticky notes by the pallet there, Arnie.
He likes the sticky notes.
I love my sticky notes.
Yep.
That's the only way I remember how to get through the day.
There you go. All right. So I actually talked to a buddy of mine regarding how PSA grades, and I was a little bit surprised on how they do it. So the steps are obviously they do the receiving and verification. The cards are checked against the form. Okay. Then you authenticate them. The counterfeit checks and auto checks are verified. The grading, it's actually more than one grader that's doing these orders. It's actually a total of 3. So then they do the encapsulation and labeling, the quality control and imaging, finalization and shipping. Now, the reason why they do 3 graders is because they want to see a consistency in the grading. So first iteration, let's just say one particular card grades a 9. Okay, then you have another minion. He looks at it. He thinks it's a 10. So then they pass it on to that senior grader who's been there a little bit longer. And whatever he says, okay, is what is going to be going with. And obviously he will justify it. Now, with I forgot what level it was, but now they're actually incorporating the grader's notes. Okay, so your regular bulk submissions, you're not going to grade those notes. You're not going to see those graders notes, but basically they got 3 graders for every level of service that you're going through. So it's a good thing to know that I got more than one set of eyes on this. But if all 3 are consistent with a PSA 6, they all need to go get their eyes checked. It's just the way I look at it. All right, so here's some submission delays, and Arnie and I kind of had a conversation about delays earlier on in the week. You know, we came up with some random scenarios. So the first one would be incorrect submission form, you know, wrong details, missing info. It's kind of hard to screw up the form if everything is self-explanatory. The only discrepancy that I would find is if when you're in the search bar trying to type in the name of the card you want graded and it does not show up at all, and they give you that option to go ahead and manually put in the card that you're looking to grade. That's the only issue that I would have, because Adrian has done it. I have done it. When I was trying to send my 2019 Topps Transcendent A-Rod out there, I come to find out that the damn card wasn't even on the checklist from jump. So I had to get a hold of Topps to unfuck their situation, to send it back down to PSA with the new checklist. And then PSA sent me the instructions on how to actually send it off so that they can ensure that that card comes back to me in the slab. So that's the only issue I would see, there being a delay when it comes to inputting on their database.
Well, you can only go so far. It's a step-by-step where you cannot continue unless you confirm each step, which is good.
Correct. So basically, then you got ineligible holders, no top loaders, using card saver 1. You want to be Spicy Bear and send a 2017 Aaron Judge base rookie and a screw down. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna F around and find out. Then you have your high volume backlogs. Bulk submissions do take longer. This is true, especially when you're offering these ridiculous specials.
And they do not pull orders based on when you send them. They pull them however they want. So if you send 10 orders, they're not going to pick order 1, 2, 3 based on the time you sent them in. And that's something that would be nice for them to change and work on. But they grab whatever they grab.
Yeah. Then you have your authentication issues, a questionable autograph, or just flat out counterfeits. I mean, we've seen that throughout the hobby
Yeah.
how many times, and
one card will slow down the rest of the order. You can have a 10 card order, 2 card order, or 100. You have one bad card in there, it's going to slow that thing down to a halt. That's something that you need to be aware of. And the only thing I will point out too is, which is a big one, payment or shipping problems, decline payment. If you have a credit card that's going to expire, you had a fraud charge on your account, you had to get a new credit card. You cannot do that on your phone app. You have to go on the desktop version to change your payment. And all you have to do is click on the order, scroll to the very, very bottom where you see the payment pop up, and just hit add new payment, and then select that payment to be your primary. And as long as you do that before it reaches step 6 or 7, you're fine. Because you won't see any movement. It'll just show that it's been in assembly. And you'll think, what's taking so long? They've had my cards in assembly for 3 weeks. Here, you just had a payment be declined, and your grades will not be revealed. So you won't even be able to get to the point where you see your grades.
Yeah.
And that's a very common thing that happens. It happened to me once, but it was nice that they actually reached out to me.
And I know Sean had asked me this question in a text a while back, and Sean may not remember, but I do. No, PSA does not take EBT cards.
They don't?
No, they do not take EBT. Okay,
we got problems. Sorry, guys.
PSA does not have a WIC program as of right now.
Okay,
that's subject to change.
I'll trade in my food for PSA cards. I'll do it.
So here's some other potential delays: a unique or an obscured card which requires extra. I call it authentication. Reality is it requires extra attention, where it just confuses everybody. Like, what the hell is this? What do we do? Somebody hit the red button, please. Okay, so like, if you happen to send like a 1888 old judge, Timmy 2 times batting,
poor Timmy.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna make some graders' heads hurt. What else? PSA may need to update their population reports. I don't see how this one would actually make sense. I mean, I thought normally they update that after the grading is done.
Here's the problem with pop reports. There's so many cards that are cracked out and submitted elsewhere. Pop reports are always taken with a grain of salt. Now, I'm not saying that we're talking about a rare Babe Ruth card where there's only been 4 in existence, or this a Cy Young stamp that I purchased that there's only one been graded by PSA. Right. It's not an extremely high dollar card, but it's very rare. I'm talking about the cards that are more modern. We don't know how many have actually been broken out of their cases, because those people that are breaking them aren't turning those labels into PSA.
Right. And then the last one, as a best practice, provide documentation and clear descriptions of those unicorn cards that you've acquired along your collecting career. Okay, whatever that may be. Okay, yeah, I could email it to you, Sean. That's not a big problem. All right, so here's how to avoid delays and some best practices that worked for me. Double check your submission forms. Use the correct materials to send off your cards. Submit during off-peak seasons, or when you have a tempting special that PSA is offering. Verify the declared values and ensure payment is completed, and properly package your cards to avoid damage in transit. Am I missing anything off of this that you would likely do differently there, Arnie?
No, I think this you can learn a lot of stuff from this, as you can when you ship cards to other people. Just take care of your package, really. That's all it is. And then double check everything and put the right insurance on. That's the biggest thing here, is put the right insurance on the package. The insurance that you're paying for and the price you're paying for is on the way back. So keep in mind, when you submit cards to PSA, that is 100% on you.
Yep. This is true.
So act as if you're not getting them back. And then if something were to happen, what price would you be happy with? And then if that were to happen, you have to deal with the shipping provider.
All right, so this is some of the stuff I use in my little grading experiments, and you can find this off of eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this basically how you operate it, and I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence. Okay, we all learn some shape or form. Basically, put the card within the bold black lines, and then where you take the borders, what number they land on, left to right, top to bottom. Here's your grading chart here. So basically, if it's 3-3 top and bottom, you got a perfectly centered card. Okay. There's really no other way to explain that. Now, when you do your screening, these are some of the things that I've used. Obviously, you got your microfiber. I did use this at one point. I don't use that anymore because my wife, she has a habit of thinking for me, and I picked up something that looks like beer goggles.
You look like a jeweler.
Yes. And the beauty thing that I like about this, where it actually comes with a little light. So knock two birds out with one stone. Okay. All right. So the recap, basically, all in all, hopefully somebody who has never graded before, don't know how to grade, or just afraid of grading, this should give you an idea on how to break that ice, pop that cherry, whatever term you want to use.
Mhm.
This should help you feel a little bit more comfortable in what steps you need to take and what is required of you as the submitter when it comes to getting these cards graded.
Yeah,
Now,
and have fun with it too.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to mess up, and you know, the whole idea of learning from someone else and saving some money that way. That's what this is about. But the main point is make sure you have fun with it, and test it with a small sample size, a small 5-card order, a 1-card order, just to see the process. It's a good learning experience, and then you become more independent. You don't rely on other people, and you'll find yourself in a better spot come your second order.
Question from Sean.
No, so under declare, it's going to give you an option to change. It used to give you an option to type in every dollar amount. So you could have 10 cards, one's $70, one's 85, one's 225. Right now there's a set value. You can adjust the values down at the $500, which is the $500 max under the entry level. I should say it's $500 declared value per card. You can adjust those down. And each time you do that, you have to click on the actual card, and there's a box to check, and then you can manually change that. But all that does is for insurance purposes only. So when they send the cards back, they're charging you a little bit less for insurance. But we're not talking about most orders are going to be right around a 20. Here's what it is. I do 20 card orders at the $500 limit, and most of my orders are right around $46 to ship back to me for 20 cards. That's the shipping and insurance.
Bear with me. I'm trying to answer Big John's question here. He's asking for a link, and I can't access it through my PC right now, so I'm just telling him what he could type out to help him find it on eBay. I mean, not eBay, Amazon. Type. Handheld.
Mike, that thunder is pretty loud over by your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way it's coming up the coast, it's going to be thundering for probably about 2 more hours. Yeah.
All right, so that's pretty much everything that we actually have for today. Am I missing anything that we should have touched up on regarding grading or anything like that that'll help out?
No, I think that's a good step-by-step thing. And if anybody has any questions, there's a lot of other good videos out there that are online on YouTube. Just search how to submit cards to PSA. And the only way you're going to know how to do it, though, is try one for yourself. It's actually pretty easy. And to me, it's kind of fun. It's all part of the process. It's kind of like a challenge to test your eye every time and to see how good you're doing. Enfuego was a little on the fence at the beginning, and he was sending stuff to Adrian, and now he's doing stuff on his own. So to me, it's all part of the process. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take as much time as you would think.
And now that I look back on it, you know, I kind of call myself a bitch for not doing it on my own for the first time, because
well, that's how you go. You got to learn. You got to figure it out.
It's really not that hard.
No,
once you get like 1 or 2 submissions in on your own,
you can't go to the next step. You can't go to the next step without finishing the step that you're working on that you're having a trouble with. So it's not like you're going to miss a step and go, oh, I thought I did everything. They make it very user friendly, and you know, I'm not bashing any third party graders that or grading submission companies that take your stuff and clean the cards and do all this other stuff and charge you a fee. Just try it for yourself. It's not that difficult.
Okay, so we've got some suggestions going around.
That is a good part about the actual cards you're sending. But if you just want to test it out with cards that were from your childhood that you're emotionally attached to, you want to get them slabbed so you can display them. And that's a good way to test it on your first run. But if you're really trying to grade cards for resale value and then to sell some so you can start buying more cards that you do want and, you know, replenish the hobby funds. Yeah, right. Casey's going to make a great point. Lean on other people. Everyone's here to help.
Right. And to answer your question, Dom, I know, yes, you do get charged. You do get charged at the end of the grading process, but that you have to make sure that payment method is actually legit, because if you happen to be one of those individuals that wants to see your grades before the cards actually get back to you, you will not get a chance to see them until that payment goes through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another thing is SGC requires 100% of the payment up front before you send the cards.
There you go. I think PSA is the same way.
Yeah, exactly. Smalls. He says, now I love it. Yeah, exactly, Ron. Yeah, these are all good. These are all good cases right here where everybody, you know, Mike doesn't grade cards. I grade cards. Some people do, some people don't. There's all these different ways to collect and be involved in the hobby, but lean on other people for advice, because it's all free stuff here. We're all willing to help people, and we all want people to do good.
Absolutely.
I would just rather buy my graded cards off of eBay.
Yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with that either.
No, nothing wrong with that at all. You know, it's just Mike is suffering from a severe case of FOMO.
I think he's gonna be suffering from a severe case of wet ceilings in a little bit if this storm keeps rolling through. Like,
I don't know. They're calling for 2 to 3 more hours of rain, so we'll see what happens.
And that's another thing that PSA has to offer too, the PSA registry.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people like to lean on that. You know, I guess I'm going to look at the PSA registry as a dick measuring contest.
It is. It is definitely a pissing contest. It is.
You know, it's not my thing.
But it is nice to track your cards if you don't have like a card ladder or something like that. It is kind of the same thing. You can kind of track your collection.
Okay, so Cardaholic says that his LCS will review before submitting and make sure it's worth your time and money. Again, this goes back to what I said. Who are you to tell me what I should or should not be sending a grade?
Yeah.
Take my money, take my cards, shut the hell up.
Yeah, exactly. I want to send them. And it's fine too, because there's a lot of people that are concerned about, is this worth my time? Hey, a PSA 9 goes for $30. If you send this, you got the card cost, and then you got your grading fees. You're going to want to grade things that are going to be this price point in a PSA 9, if that is the route you're taking. But if it's the route from a collector that just says, I don't care if these come back authentic, a 1 or a 10, they're not going anywhere. I just want them graded. As long as you're upfront with whoever you're dealing with, just let them know that, hey, just send them.
Yeah.
So there's no question, because the last thing you want to do is have someone else make that determination, and then you wait 3 months for your cards. You get them back and says, where's my other cards? Oh, they're right here. We didn't grade them because I didn't think they looked good. So just make sure you're upfront with whoever's grading them for you.
Now, if you or anybody that you know that is into collecting happens to take advantage of this incentive that eBay is doing with the send straight to PSA, get that information, and I would appreciate if you come back and share it with us and the rest of the chat, just so we know how the process was for that person. If I mean, who knows? It may persuade my mind differently. Chances are slim to none, but you never know. All right, but other than that, yeah, that's pretty much all we have. Mike, you got anything going on this week?
I don't have anything going on this week, actually.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nada.
Now, Mike
Nada.
did drop
He was smoking some weed.
he was smoking some weed, ripping some Bob Marley, jamming to some Bob Marley, and
Very cool stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
go check that short out. It was
I suggest you check that out.
it was
I
a
got
fun watch.
I got a whole box of shorts coming up, so don't worry about it.
There
Nice.
you go.
And Mike,
Putting
the
one
weather's
out
going to
every
start
day.
breaking, so you're going to be able to start painting again too, right?
Yeah, I'm looking
Cool.
forward to that.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
definitely
always
looking
cool.
forward to that.
Oh, when's the car show, Mike?
When is my car? 16th? 15th? Oh, wait a minute. No. The car show 19th, I believe it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing any type of streaming while you out there?
Probably not. I just want to go and just experience it for myself and, get the feel of it.
So we'll pick your brain on the next episode when you come back.
I just hope it's not one of those where, because I just saw he's like the Philly card collector, and he went to a show and it was like, I wish they would have told me that it was going to be 60% Pokemon cards because it was like Kids Day, at it. So I don't know what it's going to be like. I'll probably like I said, I'm going to go with $200 and just take a look around. If I see something I like, I'll get it. If I don't, I don't. Not a big deal.
Yeah, have some fun with it. That's all.
Yeah. Just kind of feel it out.
There you go. So we know Arnie has his online LCS every Friday, 8:00. But besides that, you got anything else going on?
No. I think I'm gonna do an episode and start talking about the national to see who is going and who's not going, and just have some conversations. I'll just fire that up at random. But other than that, no plans for anything else.
Okay. So as for me, I'm still waiting on a box that was initially, the label was created March 1st, and right now it just made it to Florida. So I'm waiting for that to come in. And,
it's in a monsoon right now.
It's doing something, because initially when it landed in Florida, it flew over my head, and I was making its back turning this way. So, but yeah, other than that, I do appreciate everybody showing up. Mike, Arnie, appreciate you guys' input as always.
No, appreciate the chat and you guys.
Chat, if you don't mind, hit that like button if you haven't done so. Other than that, we will catch you all later on during the week throughout the various channels, and we'll see you on the next episode. Have a good night, everyone.
All right, thanks everyone.